Hey, what's up guys? So today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make your videos look more cinematic. This goes for anything. This goes for vlogs, for travel videos, for even just like a interview. If you're trying to make it more cinematic, these are some tips that may help you guys make your videos look a little bit more professional so you guys can stand out. The first step is lenses. You always want an assortment of lenses. These things are what create your picture after all, you know? If you don't have a good lens, it's not going to turn out good. I have a Canon, so only Canon lenses are supposed to work on it. This is the lens that came with my camera. It's an 18 to 55 millimeter and it's kind of plasticky and kind of junk. These two lenses are Pentax lenses that I got from my dad. He got these in high school, so like 20 years ago, 30 years ago. These are good lenses because they're metal and it's a lot smoother than this one. This one's really not good. So if you guys are going to pick up lenses, especially if your camera doesn't have autofocus like mine doesn't, you're going to want to pick up lenses that are good for that. So this is a 70 to 200 millimeter lens. This is really good for zoom, especially on APS-C sensor crop because it zooms it in 1.6 times crop anyways, so this zooms it in even more. And this is a 50 millimeter prime lens. With the APS-C sensor, it's I think about 85 millimeters after that. I'm not exactly sure, but the good thing about this one is it has a really good aperture. Drop the aperture, see that little hole closing and opening? That's called aperture, and this aperture goes all the way up to 1.7 aperture. See how it's like wide open? That's gonna let a lot of light in, especially in low light situations, and it gets a shallow depth of field. And last but not least, you're gonna want a wide angle lens. Cinematic shots are always wide angle. They always have an establishing shot that is wide angle where you can see everything, especially for vlogs and travel type videos. They really help establish a big setting. You know, I can stretch my arms out all the way and you can still see them. That's like really good for if you're trying to get vlogs. You can still see pretty much everything around me and I'm maybe a foot and a half away from the camera. And for travel videos, wide shots are really good for showing a big setting. It really helps you establish a really nice shot, especially if you're trying to show you doing something, if you're going traveling, doing flips like I do all the time, or anything you want to do in your videos. It helps create a big atmosphere where if you have a zoom lens, it really doesn't capture that quite as well because it feels like you're trapped. But with a wide angle, it feels like you're pretty free to do whatever you want. Number 2, you're gonna want one of these. So I have a MacBook Pro 2012, 2013 edition. It's older, it's about 5 years old. It gets done what it needs to do. Mine came with Final Cut preloaded on it. If I were to give you guys suggestions on buying a computer, I'd say go on eBay, go on Amazon, go on cheaper websites, and try to find a used computer with programs preloaded so you don't have to buy them brand new. When I got my computer, it was about $700 and it already came with Adobe Suite, Final Cut, Logic Pro, all these different types of editing softwares that I don't even use half the time. All I use is Final Cut nowadays for videos. And Final Cut's one of the best editing softwares there are out there. So if you're trying to edit and you're trying to edit good, you need to pick up a computer that is going to support your needs. You know, if you are trying to edit on Final Cut, you need a MacBook or a Mac of some sort because it only works on Apple products. But if you're trying to edit on Sony Vegas or After Effects or Premiere Pro, then you're going to use whatever you want. So within the computer, you're also going to want step 3, and that is color grading. Color grading is one of the most important parts of your videos that you're really going to want. When you look at footage, raw, it's never going to look good, okay? It's just not going to look how you want it. So what you're going to want to do is color grade. I suggest you guys learn how to color grade. It's going to help you in the long run, and if you get LUTs, there's ways you can get it on Final Cut, and it's really helpful. So if you guys need to figure that out, there's YouTube tutorials out there, so just go and find one of those and get color correction LUTs for Final Cut to make it a lot easier to color grade, and then you'll be able to adjust colors how you want them, and that's how I get the cool shots that I do in my travel videos. Number 4, get an action camera. So this is like a cheap knockoff, like Japanese GoPro, but it works. It shoots in 4K, it shoots in 1080 at 60 frames or maybe 120, I don't even know. But it gets what it needs to do done. Like I said, it's always better to find a cheaper option, especially if it works just as good. This was $70 and it works almost as good as a normal GoPro, and it was like a fraction of the price. I haven't really used this a lot because I never really go in water places, and when I do, I don't really end up like going in nice water, so it's always in like the gross ocean. I'm never in like crystal clear Cancun, Mexico, or like cool places where it is to take video. I'm typically just on a normal beach and there's nothing to do with a normal GoPro. But I have caught some like cool adventure like fish type videos when I was in Florida, as you guys can see, and it is cool. It's a nice little touch to add, especially when you take off the lens, the wide angle, because then you can't really tell it's a GoPro, and so it kind of looks zoomed in. It's like, whoa, what did he shoot this on? Normally when you see a GoPro, it's really wide angle, so you're like, oh, that's a GoPro, and people don't really like how GoPros look. But when you change that and you zoom it in a little bit, it kind of looks better. So so that is one way to use a GoPro or an action camera in your videos. And finally, last but not least, but probably one of the biggest problems that people have, especially with non-log camera. So basically what log is, a lot of cameras don't have log, but what log is it puts as much information as it can into the video files to make it look very bland. So when you see it, it's not going to look good. I'll put in some examples, but it doesn't look good at first. But when you color grade, it has so much more information like saturation, colors, different white balances, and they're all embedded inside of the footage. And so when you're color grading, it can extract the best types and really give you the best image. And with cheaper cameras, they don't really have that. So I'm going to show you guys how to simulate that on Canon cameras. I don't know how it works on like Sony, Nikon, or any other camera out there, but if you guys are working on Canon, or you can get these settings up on another type of camera, watch this and you'll figure out kind of how to do it. So excuse how bad the quality is right now. I'm filming on my iPhone, but I'm going to teach you guys how to change your camera into a flatter platform so that you can really color grade better. It's not log, it's not C-log, it's not S-log, so don't expect the performance of log, but it's as close as you can get in camera without having actual log. So this is how you do it. So you're going to want to go to your menu, and once you're in menu, you're going to go over, I don't know exactly how it works in other cameras, but in Canons, especially the T3i, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to go to the third menu, and you're going to click on Picture Style. You're going to click on Picture Style. Once you're there, you're going to select your custom ones and just go into one. And once you're there, you're going to see a couple different options. My options on mine are sharpness, contrast, saturation, and color tone. So you're going to want to take sharpness and drop it down to 0. Take contrast, drop it down to 0. Take saturation, drop it down to 0. And take color tone and drop it all the way up to 10. All the way over. And that is how I get my flatter style shots, especially when I'm traveling or do those types of videos. I try to get the flattest image so I can really color grade later. So that is basically it, my video for the top 5 ways to get the best looking cinematic videos with your equipment right now. If you guys have better equipment than this where you actually have log or actually have those options that I don't have, please use them because it'll make them even better. So if you guys use my tips, I hope that you guys can get better videos and start making good YouTube videos. If I did help you guys, please leave a like down below. It helps me a lot. And subscribe if you're new. But besides that, that's basically it. As always, see y'all later. Bye.